on the island of Newfoundland, upon the southwest coast, lies the little town of Virgil, to whom I'll sing this toast. There are so many islands that lie just off her shore, and when the cold north wind blows, you can hear the billows roar. The people from the village make their living from the sea. They like their independence, it shows that they are free. Some fish in their small boats in the wind, the rain and sleet, while others make their living on the offshore trawler fleet. They've known their share of tragedies down through the years, and when the memories overcome, they show their grief with tears. For they have lost some loved ones to the furies of the seas, for heartaches and heartbreaks are locked in memories. This village, it's got beauty carved on its rugged shore. 7 miles of pure white sand, who could ask for more? The mountains and the valleys where the rivers run so fast, and the salmon rise to the sportsman's fly as he makes another cast. Now the people of this village love their native home, for anyone who goes away, oh surely will return. Just like that lifelong mystery, the answer you won't know. What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul? What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul?
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight in our stories we have Team Jeopardy, Town Council Report, Tick with Steve. Please stay tuned for these stories after this.
Remembering is difficult, but even more difficult if you have Alzheimer's disease, a disease that affects the brain, erases memory, and eventually takes life. The Alzheimer's Society is fighting back. It provides support, information, and funds research into finding the cause and a cure. Until then, remember this.
The Help Committee held a Teen Jeopardy game on Monday night. It was based around anti-violence. John Butler was the host along with Nicole Ipditch. There were 6 teams that participated. 3 teams in round 1 and 3 teams in round 2, with the winners from both rounds competing in the final Jeopardy question. Ada Vatcher and Tracy McDonald were the scorekeepers. The winning team consisted of Joyce Bellard, Bradley McCullough, and Curtis Ann. They received t-shirts as a prize. A door prize was drawn for and was won by Lillian Carter, and also 2 lucky chairs, and they were won by Tina Hatcher and Kim Benight. All those who participated received a gift certificate from either Jive's Place or Sharon's Diner. This game will be shown in its entirety at a later date. The provincial government is extending the deadline for the registration of home eating oil tanks to July 31st, 2009. This extension will permit homeowners an opportunity for upgrades or replacements that were not possible during the winter season. It will also help industry meet the demands to supply materials and inspect and install systems. The delivery of heating oil to unregistered systems after July 31st will be illegal, as homeowners will not be permitted to use unregistered tanks. A number of individuals have been licensed by the Department of Environment and Conservation to inspect and register home heating oil tanks. For more information, including a list of companies with licensed inspectors, you can visit the government website at www.gov.nl.ca, or you can call 709-729-0948 or toll free at 1-800-563-6181. Mayor George Reed came by the studio with his town council report.
Good evening. Council had a meeting on Thursday, March the 26th, and seems like it's been a long time since I reported any council news to you, and the main reason for that was that the last one, I think I had something wrong with my voice. I think that was the reason for it. Anyhow, I'm going to report on now just about what most of the council's activities, I guess, over the last couple of months. The water treatment plant, I'm quite happy to say that the final stage of that is now has gone to tender as we speak. The reservoir, the water reservoir, that which was the second phase of our water treatment plant, has gone to tender, and the tender closes on March the 31st at 2 p.m. So hopefully that's going to put that to rest. That now after March the 31st will be a waiting game, I guess, for them to get the work done. We've been told that the first phase, that they're going to start removing the whole equipment around first week in April. And hopefully by the last week in April, the new equipment will have arrived, and they will be start installing it. The town will have to go on a bypass the first week of April. That means we're going to have to bypass the equipment that we're using in there now, and primarily that means the pumps. The pumps there now, our water's been fed through the pumps, and the pumps are forcing it around Burgeow, giving you the pressure that you got, or maintaining it. So once we go on a bypass, then these pumps will no longer be used, and what you'll be getting, of course, will be the same as you were getting it 3 or 4 years ago, or since we've had a water system. It'd basically be gravity fed. So whatever the pressure that you're getting from Long Pond, that's what you'll be getting in your houses. So for most people, that means you're going to get a reduction in pressure, and of course, that reduction in pressure will be that'll last until the job gets finished. And once the job gets finished and the new tank is put in, then the pressure then will come from the reservoir, and it'll be maintained at whatever they decide to put it at. You've heard me talk about the arena tender for that the refrigerating system for the arena to keep the ice in the arena. Well, of course, it's too late for this year, and remember, I think I mentioned once before, it had already gone to tender, And it came in, and there were some problems with it, and then it was re-tendered. Now that re-tender, the new tender for that is going to close also on March the 31st. So I guess putting it that way, it means that by next fall and next winter, you will have the refrigerating system in the arena for to keep your ice in there through the whole winter. Just want to report that we had a while back there, we had a major blockage on the outfall from the hospital and the senior citizen complex. They're on that major outfall there that goes out into the just off of the point there by John Wilcolis there. Anybody going up and down the road there can see where that comes up. Nevertheless, that was blocked, and it was blocked off in the water, pipe underwater, a couple 100 feet off there. To clear up that blockage, it was $3,500. The reason I'm telling you that, because I want to stress to everyone, we've said it before, you have to be very, very careful of what you're putting down your drains and your toilets and anywhere that you're putting it into your sewer system. You have to be very, very careful, because when it blocks up these lines going through these outfalls, it can become very, very expensive. In fact, that one could have become pretty much a fair-sized emergency, because once that one up the hospital blocked up, then of course you had major trouble in that area. So be very, very careful what you're putting down in your lines, please. Particularly the fats and the heavier paper, like paper towels and that. This year in April the 30th to May the 2nd, Councillor Hitchcock and Deputy Mayor Dave McDonald and myself will be attending a symposium, a municipal symposium in Gander. And some of the topics in that symposium are going to be waste management, fisheries, the Marine Atlantic Ferry, sustainability plan for the towns, and of course the gas tax refund. These are some of the things that will be sessions we'll be attending to try to get some extra knowledge. Of course, you've all heard about the waste management to a point, and I'll give you what we know about it. They have the plan done. Bay New Plan did a study for the southwest coast, and in that study, Burgeo was included in that study. And what they've done at this point, it's basically a study that's been submitted to the towns and to the government, and what they're recommending for Burgeo at this point in time. Two options. One option is to collect all garbage and transport it to Wall Cove, which is in Corner Brook. That's where Corner Brook dumps its garbage. And that's one of the options. And the other option is to open up a new pit. And that pit that they've identified is the pit that's up over Sealbrook, west of Sealbrook. In other words, just up on top of the hill there, once you cross the bridge, Sealbrook Bridge, and you go up that stretch there, there's a big pit there on your right-hand side going up that way. They've identified that pit, in their words, in their estimation, that it's suitable for the dumped garbage. And it would be dumped in there and covered on, I suppose, on a daily or weekly basis. And what they're recommending is that the Ramya garbage and the Burgeo garbage be collected and transported in there and dumped. Now, at this point in time, it's just a recommendation, and that's all we know about it, exactly what I've just told you now. Don't know any other details. I suppose they'll be forthcoming, and when they do come, I'll give them to you. We're under the understanding that our incinerator will be left open until at least at the end of June, and we haven't heard anything other than that in regard to incinerator. We had 21 items of correspondence that we had to deal with at the meeting. We paid invoices amounting to $152,349. And I have to tell you about the case that we have in court, of course, which is all old news, but I'll just bring it to your attention again, and that's ongoing, and it's moving, I guess you would call it, at a turtle's pace. It's not going any faster than that. And I really have nothing new to update you on that court case. Deputy Mayor Dave McDonald, myself, we attended the South West Coast Joint Council meeting in St. George's on February the 28th. And there, of course, where there was, I guess, around 6 or 7 other communities representatives were there. We had a discussion on the Marine Atlantic ferry schedule and what they're going to do with their new boat. We talked about waste management for the region, and we talked about home-based businesses, what other towns are doing around the Southwest Coast. On March the 24th and to the 26th, our 2 employees, Clayton and Michael, they attended a clean and safe drinking water workshop in Gander. My understanding from their report is that they found it very worthwhile. They enjoyed the workshop. Right at the present time, you might have seen the council workers out around town. What they're doing now, we're starting now, and hopefully have it done by the end of the year. We are taking new measurements on your water curb stops, and we're getting new measurements, and we're getting a GPS location, and we are recording that and put it in the computer and put it on file, so we'll have something that's permanent. So that's what they're doing up by your curb stop, and measuring probably from the corner of your house to the curb stop in 2 directions, and pinpointing where your water curb stops to. So that's what they're doing there. Also, I'd like to say that the council made it part of their program now that every spring and every fall we will be carrying out regular flushing of the manholes in every one of the outfalls. So hopefully, I guess that you would call it preventive maintenance probably, and it's never been a part of the schedule for council to do it, but from now on they'll be doing that. And we will soon be doing our spring, summer maintenance less. So if you see anything that is the responsibility of council around town that needs to be done, phone up to the office, talk to the manager, and tell them what it is that you've seen that you think is the responsibility of council. we appreciate that, because in that way we can deal with stuff that is bothering you, or that you've seen, and we haven't seen, or the town manager hasn't seen. And last but not least, make sure that if you're seeing any water leaks in town, because this is after the winter, it's quite possible that there's going to be a water break somewhere. So if you see any, phone up, tell the town manager about them as soon as possible. Thank you, and have a good week.
We have a new segment in our program tonight. It is called Tick with Steve. This is done by Stephen Iscock and Shane Walsh.
Okay, so I'm here today. I'm going to attempt to do a technology educational videos for you guys in Virgil. And I know that there is a lot of confusion in the technology today because it's going so fast, and I just like to follow it, and I just like to share my knowledge and help for you to understand it as well. But today, the first episode is going to consist of just the HD TV itself. This TV is in HD, but you must understand that it's not HD unless you have a source. So right now, as you can see, there's beautiful colors and how clear it is. That is HD. That is being displayed at 1080i. Now, I'm just going to change over to normal cable to show you the difference. Now, normal cable is displayed in full screen. Now, full screen, a lot of people get discouraged about it because they think that full screen is fuller than widescreen, which is not. Full screen, this is how you should be watching it on your TV. Full screen. Cable is not widescreen. So, by watching cable, you're actually stretching the screen and distorting it. But now you can have it zoomed so that it's in place. Okay, so I'm here on my floor, and just wanted to show you the difference between the older type television and the LCD. Now, the most common is the LCD screens because they're small and they're easier to set up anywhere. Plasmas are not as common because they only comes within a certain size range, but I'll get into that afterwards. But anyway, this is your typical 13-inch screen, which was back in the day was like wicked for your bedroom, and it had ports for plugging in your video games or your DVD or whatever, and had your buttons there. But you can just tell just by me rotating, like, look at how much backage, like how much back there was on this, how much space. So that's the old style. So I'm going to jump up now off screen and take this way. Say no more to this. Now you bring in this. This is a 20-inch LCD. This is my first one that I've ever had. So look how it's widescreen. Just about every LCD screen or HD TV right now is in widescreen. So you got the wider viewing angle, in which, remember, widescreen you get more picture than full screen. So a lot of people think it's the other way. So on these types of TVs, you have a stand, or you have a brace for the carrying it. And most time, take these off. A lot of them, they got a 4 screws in which that you can mount them on the wall, or you can mount, as my TV is over there, onto a stand. So, but now, they're HD TVs. it don't necessarily mean that when you brings it home that it's going to be HD. See, because that cable is analog and cable is not HD. So if you do not have a source like a satellite or a video game machine or a DVD player that upscales to HD, your LCD screen is just a normal television. And that's what I just want everyone to understand, so that you don't just think like, you know, you're getting this amazing TV, but if you don't have it hooked up proper, you're not going to get most of it. And I'm telling you, when you see the difference in the HD from the normal cable, you will be blown away. And just going from the normal TV to HD is different. I find cable is clearer on normal televisions than it is on an LCD screen, because of the fact where it's meant for standard definition. LCD screens are meant to be for clarity, and plasmas, they're pretty much the same way, but you know, they're just a little bit more expensive than the LCDs. That's where everybody else is going for the LCDs right now. So on the side, I don't know if Shane, my cameraman, can zoom in on the ports here. We have, first off, we got the TV antenna, which is standard on all televisions, which is, I think, digital, which I think, as of right now, analog still works, but I think in the future televisions, analog is going to be gone. So, and also, in the majority of all these, you also got a VGA cable input. That is so that you can use your TV as a computer monitor. So you could have a TV and have your computer out by your TV at the same time. So it just pretty much just taking monitor on and plugging it into the TV. But you also got to have a audio for to plug into it, and there usually is a little headphone jack for your audio from your computer. Go there. So then we move up. So now for the normal viewing stuff, you got your normal video cable, which is yellow. So your normal yellow cable consists of this one there. This is your yellow cable, and this is your, as they call it, RCA audio cables. So this is your basic video possible. So if you was using standard TV, I would recommend just using these. And then maybe if your TV had the S-video input. S-video enhances it a little more. You would just discard this one and just plug this one in and have these two, and then you have your audio and you get your videos clearer. But that's the standard definition age. But now with the HD age, what we got is, first off is the component, which is your green, blue, and red, which is 3 cables for the video alone. Plus you also got 2 other cables for your audio, which is fine, but you got a lot of cables. But this TV here do not have, this was probably one of the first ones that went on the market for cheap and stuff, and it don't have an HDMI cable. Now that's what I'm running right now on my Xbox. So this is the HMDI cable, and this cable is one cable which is like just a single like any other one, but it consists of the video and audio all in one, and it is the highest possible. So if you want the highest out of your HD content, you should be using this in your TV. Okay, so another thing with the cables is cheapest is not always best. Gold plated or 24 karat gold or whatever it says is usually the best conductancy for signal. So if you buys like a cheap cable, you're going to get interference. You're going to get graininess. You're going to get like interference on your screen, and you want it clear. So if you sees a HDMI cable that's $20, but it's silver on the tips, and you sees one that's $60 and it's gold, get the $60 one. I know that is a bit more, but for the price, it's well worth it. Alright, so we're back at my LCD screen. I've had this one for now 2 years, and they're starting to go down in price now, and the LCD stands for liquid crystal display, which that screen is not glass. It's actually like a liquid crystal going all through TV, and it's these little pixels that is bringing all this color, and that is why that it can be so clear. And then what you got to look for when you're buying an LCD screen or plasma, because a lot of people ask us, what would you get? Would you get LCD or plasma? It's totally up to you, whatever you prefer. I find that plasma got a little bit of glare on the screen, and also they also say that plasma burns out easier. But LCDs, they also get occasionally the manufactural defect of a dead pixel, which is a little square might die on the screen, and it will be noticeable. The life expectancy of a LCD screen is 50,000 hours. So you can pretty much have your TV on 24/7, and she will last for at least 5 years. So, but anyway, one main thing you got to remember when you're buying an LCD screen is the resolution. What type of HD is it? Because there's no point in you going and buying a TV that's 720p and you pay $800 for it, and then next year you want one that's 1080p, and which is more expensive, but in the long run is a lot better. And I know you're wondering, what am I talking about? Resolutions. Okay? So what the resolution means, that means that however many pixels is on that screen, that's the resolutions. Okay? So there's 480i, there's 480p, there's 720p, 1080i, and 1080p. Now my TV goes up first 1080i, which right now is pretty clear. But with the 1080p, that you get better black and white contrasts, so that whatever's black is black, whatever's white is white, whatever's red is red. There's no bleeding, there's no tearing, everything is clear. But you also got to remember, you must have a source. You cannot change the resolutions on your TV. So as I'm just going to show you right now on my Xbox, okay? So, because this is my station that I uses for my games, movies, music, everything. This is my music visualization here now, and this is just like a simulation on the screen. So what you do is on to almost anything that you got to make sure that your settings is set up correct, because if not, it's not going to look good. So I'm just going to go into my system settings in there and say console settings and display. That's usually, it could be on your satellite, it could be the same thing. Display settings, HD settings. So I got a choice between 480p, 720p, or 1080i, but I cannot choose 1080p because my TV does not handle it. So I cannot go up to that high. So just look at the words here now. I'm just going to change it to 480p, just give you a little indication of the difference of it. Now, notice that the lettering ain't so sharp and everything else, right? Everything is not so sharp, and it's actually a little bit brighter because of the fact, because the HD is got a little bit of darkness to it, which is good because what is dark should be dark, what's white should be white. So, and also the screen formats. Right now, she's only displaying in normal because she's right now in standard definition. So right now she's being stretched across the screen. So until I change her to widescreen, now she's in widescreen. But I think my TV is in zoom too. Yeah, it is in zoom. There you go. So you make sure that your TV is on the right setting as well. So now that she's in widescreen, if I put her in normal screen, see that? Now she's stretched, and this is how it should be. And now it's clear because it's in full screen and everything else. So I'm going to switch back now to the 1080i, just to show you the difference. Now look at how clear, even like the widescreen is even clear. You can even like notice like the shadowy background behind the letters now. It's just unreal. So like I said, until you get something that is HD, you will not realize what you got in your TV. Okay, so keeping maintenance with your LCD screen, you do not want to use normal cloths or soap or dish detergent or any kind of solvent from your house or acid. Windex or anything at all. Thanks, Shane. Because your screen actually is not glass. You could actually push on it and you can feel a little bit of like, it's almost like a gel layer to it. So, and I wouldn't recommend touching it like I am, but this is my TV. So what you need to get this stuff that is called it's the anti-run, anti-static screen cleaning gel. And you get this microfiber pad come with it, and you spray it on, and you wipe the screen, and it's supposed to keep a protective film from scratches and all that stuff, and help you manage it. But just don't use soap and water on your LCD screen because it's not glass, and it won't help out none. It'll just ruin her in the long run. I'm here on TWIRdirect.ca. So you can go on there. I do a lot of shopping for computers and stuff like that. So what they just got here is they got a chart which shows like the cables that I just showed you, but they're saying what they are and what resolutions that they're used mostly for. So the HDMI, and the DVI is the only two out of the cables that can do 1080p. So if you got a Blu-ray player or a PS3 or anything tall, you must add these two cables, either or. Okay, so that's for the cable stuff. That's the two bits. They are digital cables. The other cables are only analog. So, and I think the world is trying to get rid of analog right now. So everything's going to digital and stuff. So I just want to scroll on up here, and up here they got it tells you pretty much. There's a lot of information on there. Like you can learn about what I just told you. There's resolution, the contrast ratios, and the contrast enhancement, the bit color. Like as you can see here, the bit color, like between the two. I know it's only 10-bit to 8-bit, but you can tell a difference there. And well, like this is it's not a normal thing. So they got a thing here that tells you for your TV, if you are going to buy a TV for your home, and depending on where you're going to be sitting to, this tells you widescreen dimension, 26-inch screen from a minimum distance. If you only had a minimum of 3 feet, a 26-inch screen will be perfect for you. But at a maximum, you should not be looking at it no further than 6 feet. So then it tells you a 32-inch. You should be should be no more than 7 feet away. So my place right here now is 12 feet across. So I takes it as a 10-foot viewing angle. So I would be in the category of a 42 inch in my place, and my place ain't really that big. But I personally would go 37. But you know, then you're getting into your 67s and 60 inches. So he's at least maximum 15 feet away. But that's the thing, like, you know, if you're too close to an LCD screen, it is going to be blurry. If you're too far away, it's not going to look good. But you gotta be at the right position. And most of them, most TVs, like this TV here, you gotta be looking straight at it in order to get the proper colors. But if you go and sit on the other side of the TV, the screen actually gets brighter and a little bit washed. So that when you're buying a TV now, make sure that you find one that got a 178 viewing angle. That means that it's a viewing angle from all the way around, because you can't say 180, because you can't very well see the 1 inches on each side, because there's all these TVs is almost an inch thick. So make sure it's a 178 degree viewing angle, and then you can look at the TV perfectly in the way you want. So this is it for this episode, and I'm hoping you guys enjoyed the information that I displayed, and you go on the websites and you go on the internet your own selves and try to find out more, because you can't run away from technology because it's just coming at us too fast. And I'd like to thank Shane Walsh for being my cameraman. Better, you don't want to show on the camera, but but yeah, if anyone has any questions, you're more than welcome to send me an email at hiscock2@hotmail.com, and I just recently joined Facebook, so you can find me there as well. And I'm on YouTube also. So, and I'm in Virgil, living, and if whoever needs any help with anything, I'll be more than happy to help anyone. So, good luck with it, and hopefully I'll have more episodes in the future. Thank you very much.
This concludes our program for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.